she walked through that door, the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen before. Sea green eyes and long blonde hair, cool smooth smile and didn't have a care. I don't know why, but she walked my way. I was scared to death, but I was ready to play. Love at first sight sets the spirit free. I felt the dark clouds part, I heard the angels sing. My heart caught fire and my soul can fly. That's when I knew I had to make her mine. 2 days passed before I made that call. I was hoping for the best, but I was ready to fall. At 3 a.m. we were still on that phone. We both agreed that we were tired of being alone. Our first date led to our first kiss. I closed my eyes and tasted her sweet lips. Love's first touch sets the spirit free. I felt the dark clouds part, I heard the angels sing. My heart caught fire and my soul can fly. That's when I knew I had to make her mine.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? My name is Mickey. This is Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show for Middle Americans, where all Middle Americans are welcome. Doesn't matter where you've been, doesn't matter where you're going, just matters that you're here right now. We are talking about stupid people today. I have been having fun with this like you would not believe. I have been absolutely ecstatic that we're going to talk about stupid people. Stupid people make the world go round, and then they sue other people because if you make a ladder and you don't put a sign on it and somebody jumps off of a ladder and hurts themselves, they sue the company or the family sues them if they die. The next thing you know, the ladder company goes out of business, and then we don't have any ladders left because somebody was stupid and they got hurt. And I saw a story. I'm going to start with this. I saw a story that the Ninth Circuit Court had a situation where a women's spa had nudity in there for their clients. And it was an all women's spa, ages 13 and up, just for women. And somebody that was transsexual with male genitalia went in and they said, hey, you can't be in here with your pecker and stuff. You got to go because this is for women. And they went, I'm a woman. Now they had the twigs and berries. They had twigs and berries. And they were like, I identify as a woman, so I need to be able to use this spa. And when they said you can't do that, they sued the spa. And the court system in California said you have to let the person with male genitalia, twigs and berries, if you will, into the same tubs and into the same naked environment with 13-year-old girls. Have we lost our freaking minds? Because that is stupid. Life is hard enough, but to put up with a court system that is moronic is unbelievable. So, hey, Steve, what's going on? Hey, Carolyn, how you guys doing? So anyway, that's what made me start talking about stupid people, because we as a country are morons. We're idiotic. We're stupid. We are unbelievably bad. And the people that are coming up with this stuff, they really think that they're doing something good. They really, really think that they're doing something good. But that's only because they're stupid people. And I'm tired of being nice. I'm tired of going, you self-loathing, moronic, self-indulgent, narcissistic. Everything is about me and my identity. Whatever. How about if you just get along with the rest of us and don't bother anybody else? Why do you got to put your sexuality on me? Why do you got to put your moronic ideas on me? You don't even know what the law is. You don't know what the law is. You don't know the Constitution. All right. I got to back up. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the big show. My name is Mickey. This is Mickey in the middle of the quintessential show for Middle Americans. We're all Middle Americans are welcome. Doesn't matter where you've been. Doesn't matter where you go. It just matters that you're here right now. We don't pay attention to the 20% of the crazies on the left or the 20% of the crazies on the right. We are talking to the 60% of the sane people in the middle. Because the 60% of the sane people in the middle, I have faith in you that when you hear something, you're not going to just automatically go with it. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world, right? So we got Ukraine, we got what's going on in Iran, we got Ibogaine. I don't know. They're now approving some drug, some psychedelic drugs that people with PTSD can use under prescription and under careful supervision in order to make the world better. We got economic problems. The price of gas is up. The price of gas is down. Who knows what's going on at any one time in the United States of America? It's absolutely been crazy. It's tax season, so tax season just got done. I filed my taxes. I'm good with the state of Arkansas. After today, I paid my franchise fees for my businesses. I am right with the county because I paid my property taxes. Holy smokes. Woo! Property taxes, crazy. I'm good with the DMV and the revenue department because I got all my vehicles tags up good. It is hard. That's the other reason I want to talk about this, because life is hard. Our government does not make it easy on us. So our government keeps interfering with our lives. And I'm not even talking about the school system making our kids dumber, because the school systems are making our kids dumber. I don't know what our school systems are doing, to be quite frank with you. I don't know what they're doing. They have adopted so many bad policies. It's unbelievable. And those were all driven by the Department of Education, because the Department of Education comes up with these things and they go dangle money in front of people. And they go, hey, you don't get your money unless you do things our way. So that's good. Oh, one of the things was we didn't know that computers were bad for our kids. Like, we didn't know that, right? So we're still learning about the education process, because we're like, hey, if we can get every kid a computer, obviously we'll get a kid into a technical world, and the technical world will take care of that. But then turns out that computers make kids learn less, because kids are used to learning face to face. So for millennia and generation after generation after generation, kids learn from other people and from adults. So if you take a kid that's on a farm, for example, and that kid goes out and takes care of the chickens and the ducks and the geese and the cows and the pigs, and they farm and they grow things, that education right there is volumes, because kids learn how to deal with so many different things. But we don't teach that in our school. We say, hey, look here, you need to learn arithmetic, you need to learn writing, arithmetic, and some science and some social studies. But whenever these kids get out of school, right, when they get out of school and they're 17 or 18 years old, by the time that they're 20 or 21, they're totally retarded again. They're totally stupid. If they don't go to college, or if they don't keep up on their studies, they can still read a little bit, but math goes out the window. Most of these kids can't do math. There's no mathing, right? There's no mathing. Computers are doing all the math now. They don't know history. They don't know social sciences. They don't know what's going on in world history. They don't know what's going on in international affairs. They don't know what's going on with the stock market. They have no idea how to create a business. They have no idea how to weld. They have no idea how the whole world works. And they get out of high school and they're just standing there around with a thumb planted firmly in their ear, just going, I don't know. I'll find something to do. They all want to be social media stars. But they're morons, because you know what? Being a social media star also takes work. Uh-oh, what did I do? Did I just kill myself? My screen just went blank. So let's talk about some of the things that I got written down. Oh, let's do this real quick. Do that. And then that's my lovely wife, Tanya. Then this is We the People, the Constitution of the United States of America. World population is 8,288,000,000 in the world. Debt is, hey, $39 trillion. So how about that? That's absolutely fabulous. We're $39 trillion in debt because we're stupid. Back in the early 20s and in the 30s, well, we developed this thing called the Fed, the Federal Reserve, and they're in charge of all of our money. They're owned by the 5 largest banks, and they're supposed to be supervised by the federal government and the Treasury. But guess what? They do a lousy job supervising them because the Fed has final word about the amount of money that they loan to these bankers, and then the bankers can do whatever they want with that money when they loan it to us in order to make the economy work. I want you to think about that. They're an unregulated financial body that's supposed to be taking care of us, and all they do is make sure that inflation keeps going up and up and up and up. And then they dump tons of money into the economy. There's no more goods. There's no more services. We get what we get. And when they dump all the money in there, it makes everything less valuable. And it makes prices skyrocket. So if I live in a $250,000 house and they dump all this money in there, in order for me to balance everything out, I'm going to have to charge $350,000, $450,000, $550,000 in order to maintain my level with what the economy is doing, in order to soak up the proper amount of money for my little structure here. It's the craziest thing what we're doing with the Fed. All right. Life is hard. It's harder when you're dumb. Our court system is dumb, like I just gave you the example. There is a whole bunch of other things that's happening in New York. Let me give you one example of how New York is being stupid. New York is being stupid. Oh, hey, Don, how you doing? Great to see you. New York is being stupid because Mayor Mondami has said that he wants to start city grocery stores. Now, that sounds great in a city if they didn't have any grocery stores, right? Let's say that you live in a small town of 10,000 people and there's not a grocery store there, and the city goes, hey, we can't get anybody to bring grocery store into our city. We need to make sure that we have enough people, enough food for people to be fed. We should do something about that, and maybe we should start a small grocery store so everybody that doesn't have the ability to travel, or people that need access to groceries and to other home goods, maybe we can do that. But as soon as another grocery store comes in, that government one needs closed down. Why? Because government should not be in direct competition with private business. Why? Because the government will always win 100% of the time, because the government has access to tax money, and then they can bring goods cheaper to the public than somebody that's running a private business. Why? Because there's no capital in a private business until people put into it. So the private business has to buy all the groceries. They have to hire all the labor. They have to do all this in an internal circle so that your grocery prices reflect the cost of running the store, and then the profit that is the reward for opening up a business goes to the owner of the grocery store. So prices are set, by what is actually happening inside of the business. On the other side, if a city opens up a business, they don't have to follow the same principles because the taxpayers, they can take as much money as they want from the tax base, or they can borrow money against their tax base, and then they can open up a grocery store so you don't have the price of goods properly reflected in the price of the way that you run a business. That means the prices in a government store can always be lower because the cost of doing business is guaranteed by the people, and you can take as much tax money as you want to run your grocery store. That means that the private business can't compete. Do you see how it works? So if a private business cannot compete against the government in a town of 10,000 people, how do you expect anybody in New York, which has 8 million people, to be able to compete against the government-run stores in New York City? Because the government-fund stores are funded by the people. That means that all of the private business grocery stores can't compete, and they're going to have to close. That means that you're relying on the government for your food. Have you ever seen the government do anything well? No, the government doesn't do anything well. They barely maintain. Why? Because they have no skin in the game. They can fire every single manager that they have, and it doesn't matter. Nobody gets hurt. They just hire somebody else, and they fire them, and they hire somebody else. Meanwhile, the quality of the grocery stores keep going down and down and down and down. In a private business, they have an incentive to stay open. It's a profit margin, but they also have the incentive to make sure that the grocery stores run well, because if they fail, it costs them a lot of money. You don't have that problem in a government store. Therein lies the problem with socialism. And stupid people are buying off on this idea of socialism, and they go, oh my goodness, we're going to have free buses? No, you're not going to have free buses. Somebody got to pay for the buses. Somebody's got to pay the driver. Somebody's got to pay for the gas. Somebody's got to pay for the tires. Somebody's got to pay to fix it. Somebody's got to pay to put the seats back in. Somebody's got to be paid to clean them. So all of that doesn't come for free. But if you have buses, how many private bus companies are there in big cities? Zero, because they cannot compete against the government buses. Because the government buses can charge however much they want to whenever it comes down to it. So therefore, no private businesses are going to start bus companies if they can get transportation otherwise. Whatever the government does, nobody's got to compete against the government. They're just not. So if your government starts opening up gyms, who's going to be stupid enough to open up a private gym against the government? Now, I'm not saying that government gyms and government parks and recreation are all bad, but I've seen a whole bunch that are bad. I've seen tennis courts that are just totally trashed. I've seen bike trails that are just totally useless. I've seen swimming facility, gym facilities. You want to see a screwed up system? Go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and look at it there. Look at the all of the rec centers that Tulsa, Oklahoma has set up. They're all in shambles, and all the people that work there still get paid. Hey, man, the director gets paid, the assistant director gets paid, everybody that's working at the front desk, everybody that's supposed to clean the furniture, everybody that's supposed to replace the equipment, everybody that's supposed to replace all the stuff that is broken. All those people still get paid because they can't close the doors because it's publicly funded. So the facility gets run down. The facility gets run down. The equipment breaks. Nobody fixes what needs to. The places look like crap. They don't paint the place because the people that run it are second rate. They can't operate their own stuff. So they graduate from college and they go, I got a college degree. I can run your rec center, but they have no idea how to run a rec center. Meanwhile, some musclehead, steroid jerk who comes out of a gym goes, I know how to run a gym. Uncle Bob, can you give me a few $1,000s and I'll start my own gym because I can run it better than what they're doing. That guy has a successful gym because his uncle wants their money back, and that guy wants to take pride in his business and wants to make sure that it is freshly painted, make sure that the weight stacks are good, make sure that everything is working, make sure that the staff is friendly. They want to make sure that the product that they're giving to the people for their money is absolutely satisfactory. That's why socialism doesn't work. And all the people that want free buses and free parks and recreation and free grocery stores and free childcare and free education and free everything, that's why you are morons. So life is hard already. And then you stack upon that stupid government programs and stupid government things. And the next thing you know is you have a shitty city that's never going to come back because morons are running it and the taxpayers are going to continue to fund failing programs. It's absolutely stunning and amazing. How did we get here? How did we get here? This is a great question. How we got here? Because we set the expectation for our children to be that life is great. Life is easy. Life is not easy. Life is not easy. The number of young people that I have talked to, and I have talked to quite a few in the last couple of years, the number of people that I expect to go, oh my gosh, life is hard, when they're 22, 23, 25 years old, all the way up to 30, 35 years old, they go, life is hard, I'm struggling. Yeah, life is hard. Life is hard. You did not get a proper education. I met somebody today that majored in creative writing. Beautiful soul on this person. Creative writing is what she wanted to do, but then she found out she's got a college degree in it. Then she found out that that doesn't pay anything. Well, no shit. Nobody's reading anymore. Everybody's doing podcasts. And creative writing means that you have to go find somebody that's going to pay you to creatively write. People, they get, everybody laughs at gender studies. But gender studies was a real thing in psychology. It was a real thing. And the reason is because there's difference between men and women. But as soon as you start mixing the pot and you're going, hey, transgenderism and gays and straights and this and that, and then you go, hey, all these genders are out here. We have to study each one of those. Here's what the deal is. People are people, right? They have tendencies. People that have tendencies one way or the other, it's just tendencies, and all are accepted in our society. Why do you have to study that? And when you get out of college with a degree in that, who's going to give you a job? Right? So it's not an accounting firm. It's not a lawyer firm. It's not a construction company. It's not a transportation company. It's not an oil and gas. Who's going to give you a degree in gender, or who's going to give you a job if you have a degree in gender studies? I don't know. It's hard. But we raise our children with the expectation that life is easy because we work very, very hard to get what we have, and then we made life very, very easy on our kids. So our kids just expect all this. And then when they don't get it, they go, well, somebody should give me all this stuff, so we should have socialism because they're promising childcare, and they're promising groceries, and they're promising shorter days of the week, and I want to work for the government. So if everybody works for the government, all of those people think that everything's going to be okay. The problem is with socialism, when you run out of other people's money, everybody goes broke. And if you think you're going to get a piece of the pie when there's very little pie to be spread around, you're wrong. The people that are in charge are going to have plenty of pie. They're going to make sure that all of their friends that are running programs are getting plenty of the pie. You remember a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about NGOs and the way that NGOs go? The way that non-governmental organizations work is they have a friend in the government, so they come up with this thing for, let's say, homelessness. They go, hey, who are we going to give the money to? We cannot give the money directly to the homeless people, and our government systems are overwhelmed. So we need to find a non-governmental agency that we're going to give it to that can administer this program. Well, let's say that they give $2 million to a program in Little Rock, Arkansas to end homelessness or to help homelessness. The first thing that they do is they give it to a non-governmental agent. Now, the non-governmental organization has to have a CEO that's going to be making, I don't know, $500,000 a year. Let's say that they're making $250,000 a year. They're the head of this organization is taking it. Then they're going to have a co-director. So if the director's making 250 and the co-director is making 200, that's more than a quarter of the funds, which are $2 million. Then they're going to need a facility. Hey, we're going to have to build a facility in order to have the house the homeless. How much is that going to cost? Well, it's going to cost $1 million. So now you're $1 million into a facility. You're $750 or you're $650,000, whatever the number is, $650,000 into salaries. That means you have $400,000 for the homeless. Well, wait a minute. We're going to have trucks in order to go find the homeless. Take off a couple more $100,000. Hey, we're going to have people drive those trucks. We got to do that. We're going to have kitchen. We're going to have food. So all of a sudden, no money goes to the homeless. The cronyism pays for the CEO, the director, the director's assistant, and all the salaries, and for the building, no money goes to the homeless. We're morons for letting that happen. We're morons. And it keeps happening over and over and over and over and over. But that's the way your government works. And your kids, my kids, all the kids that are out there that do not know that life is hard, fail to understand the way that government works, and they fail to recognize that when they split up the pie, there's no pie for them. There's no pie for them. So if they have a kids program, it's going to be limited in basis. They're going to let all of the hoity-toity, rich and fancy have the free health care because that's the way that it works. And then all of us common people down here get scraps, get nothing. Because the government program can only be so big, they can only afford so much stuff because they got to pay for police, they got to pay for fire, they got to pay for ambulances, they got to pay for sewers and gas and garbage collection. They got to pay for streets and lights, and they got to pay for parks and recreation. So all of the money that we're giving to the government is accounted for so that when somebody says, hey, we're going to give you free buses, you got to go, where are you guys going to get the money? We're going to give you free childcare. Where are you going to get the money? We're going to give you free grocery stores. Where are you going to get the money? There's no money for that because you have not put in any money. Your neighbors not put in any money. Nobody's put in any money to this, or they have to tax you more in order to get more grocery stores, more buses, more childcare. The government's got a lot of money. The government doesn't have any money. Morons think that the government has money. The government doesn't have any money. The government takes money from the people, which are you and me, your friends. It takes money and they redistribute that to the things that best serve society. Police and to fire and ambulances and streets and lights and parks and recreation systems. And all of the administrative stuff that the cities have to do. There's no more room for what you want. It's the craziest thing how stupid our people are. I can do another 2 shows on this. I didn't even get to studies show that our children are stupider than we are. So, throughout generations, generation after generation after generation, each successive generation is smarter than the one that came before it. Statistically, economically, in every measure, the growth of the next generation has been much improved over the last. If you look where we were in 1900 in the turn of the century, which is 126 years ago, we were morons all in fields. There was no industrial revolution. Nobody had cars. Nobody had phones. Nobody had TVs. Nobody had radios. We were living off of the land. After World War I and World War II, things started looking up because of the Industrial Revolution. And now everybody's got TVs and cars and houses and all this other stuff. We came together. Everything got better. Kept getting better and better and better and better and better. We stayed the way that we were from basically from when Christ walked the earth until the late 1800s. It was all the same. People just barely surviving and surviving on their own. And there was slavery, and there was hostility, and there was lawlessness. And then finally, the world got their shit together in the late 1800s, and peace started to reign throughout the world, and the people had a voice. And because the people had a voice and could build businesses and raise their children the way that they wanted to, and participate in commerce, that created economic systems that made the world better for everyone. But that didn't start until the late 1800s, when we got to train, when we got when we got long distance communication, when everybody understood that the Industrial Revolution was coming and that we could all gather resources and build big things that could produce steel and could produce and could mass produce clothing and mass produce logistic systems to move food around. And then we got refrigeration. And then we got electricity. And then we got automobiles and the proliferation of higher intelligent and electronics and technology. So life was hard. But after the 1800s, at the turn of the century 126 years, we've been fooling ourselves into thinking that life is easy. And now we have a bunch of dumbass kids that have no idea how hard life is. And they go, well, I don't have any money. Right, because you don't understand how money works. Well, I don't feel free. Right, because you don't understand how freedom works. I don't have all of the things I need to survive. Right, because you don't understand how hard life is, so you're not prepared to go and battle for yourself in the arena of ideas, and understand that you can start your own business. You can go get an education. You can go and do a lot of different things to help yourself out, but you'd rather just sit there and bitch, gripe, and complain about it rather than take all the things that we have learned over the last thousands of years and apply that to you to make your own life better. It's crazy. I've been doing this for 33 minutes. I got to go right. So anyway, our kids are dumber than we are. That's good to know. My daughter's not dumber than us. She's smart. And her husband is also smart. You want to know why? They got degrees in things that are very, very useful. They went to school. They got educations. One's an engineer and one's a doctor. Very, very smart. They understood what makes people successful, and they went out there and did what was necessary to be successful. And it absolutely blows my mind that more people can't figure out that life is hard, and in order to be successful, you got to go into battle every single day to build your life, make it better. You're in the United States of America. This is the perfect opportunity to do that. So if you don't do it, it's your own damn fault. They know nothing about business. They don't know about the Constitution. They don't know about the amendments. They can't fix anything. You ask anybody to fix a cabinet or fix a light fixture, maybe a plug, or build something, repair a car, change a tire. Nothing. Right? They don't understand that if you prepare food at home, it is basically 6 or 7x cheaper than going out. So whatever you buy from McDonald's, I went to McDonald's the other day and I got myself a hamburger Happy Meal, a large Coke, and a extra hamburger with ketchup. And it was $10. And I was like, wow, $10. If I'd have made a hamburger and got some Ore-Ida crinkle French fries and cooked them at home, it would have cost me about $2. So $2 to do it at home or $10 to eat out. But if you go to a fancy restaurant, it works out to be about the same. If you get steak or you get lobster, you can go and you can buy it at the store. You can cook it yourself. Same way with making furniture. If you make a piece of furniture at home, it is so much less expensive than if you pay somebody to make your furniture. And it lasts longer. Same thing with a car. If you figure out how to repair your car and you don't have to take it to an automotive dealer, then all of a sudden you cut your cost there. So you can cut your cost. If you want coffee, you can go pay $7 at Starbucks, or you can pay 55 cents for brewing it at home. I'm just saying, our kids and our society are morons. They cry for independence. I want to be me. I want to be an individual. I want to be my own identity. That's great. That's great. And then you cry for socialism. And as soon as you cry for socialism, you become a nothing in the system of socialism. You become one, like in the United States of America. How many people are we up to? 350 million. We're up to 350 million people. I want you to think that if the government said that pizza is free, government is going to provide everyone with pizza on Friday night. And that means that 350 million people are going to be expecting pizza on Friday night. How much pizza do you think you're going to get from the government? Got to remember, 350 million people are going to get pizza from the government. How many people do you think are going to get pizza? How many people do you think are going to get 2 slices of pizza? How many people do you think are going to get 0 slices of pizza? Because that's the way that socialism works. Hey, everybody gets it, right? So it's all socialism. Socialism. Who's going to go to the stores up in New York City, in the grocery stores? Who's going to get what? Because they got 8 million people in New York City. That means that 8 million people are going to show up at the grocery store on day one. Yo, Mandami, you're a moron. Can't fix stupid. Oh, and by the way, for all you young people that are out there that don't want to have kids, I want you to think about this. You don't have kids. How many generations of people not having children does it take before all the people on the planet are gone? If nobody has children, you get older, everybody dies, and there is nobody to carry on. I don't want to have children. You don't have to have children. Don't expect anybody. AI is going to take over the world. Let's see, what else? That's it. Look, hey, I appreciate you indulging me talking about stupid people. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Oh, hey, we got some people watching. So there is absolutely no way I can tell you how much I appreciate you watching every single week. This is fun for me. I get a lot of stuff off my chest. I get to exercise my brain muscle. And life is good. So you guys be good. Remember, this has been Mickey in the Middle. Like, share, hit the notification bell. If you go to follow if you go to follow on Facebook, you can get highlights. You can put me in the highlights, and you can also get notifications every time that I go live. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. I just found that out. So anyway, like, share, hit the notification bells, hit the follow, like, you get the highlights and stuff like that. This has been Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show for Middle Americans, where all Middle Americans are welcome. You guys have a great night. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.